Welcome to Warrior Commission Now, where we talk about practical ways to live out your commission with God. I am Christine Caston.
And I'm Sharon Rudolph.
And Sharon and I are exploring another question today. We love to take questions and just unpack them. And that's to us part of how we get to explore the deeper things of the Lord and of the Bible and of the kingdom. So our question today is, what is the blessing of eyes to see? And it's a great question because, Jesus promises that we'll have eyes to see and ears to hear. And we're going to talk about ears to hear in another video. But maybe what we should do, Sharon, is start with Matthew 13, 16, and 17, and just kind of unpack what are eyes to see. And then we can get to the blessings in a little bit.
Yes. Hold on just 1 second. I'm going to change my version.
Oh, there you go.
If you have a Bible app on your phone, you can switch around and compare versions. That's a lot of fun.
It is.
And hold on. There we go. So verse 16, how blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. For truly I say to you that many prophets and righteous men desire to see what you see and did not see it, and to hear what you hear and did not hear it. So
now in the context of this passage, just to kind of put some background to it, the disciples asked Jesus, why do you talk in parables?
Right.
And so Jesus gives us, this response. And so what he's talking about is that we are given eyes to see. And so let's talk about what that is, because obviously it's not necessarily our eyes that we have in our head, but it's talking from a spiritual perspective about eyes to see. So let's talk a little bit about eyes to see. Sharon, how have you seen, or how would you describe eyes to see and what that has meant for you in your life? From a practical standpoint, because that's what we're talking about, is practical ways to apply all this to your life.
Yes. And in the partnership with God, we are spiritual people. And if we just look at the world with our intellect, or what's practical, even though we're talking about practical ways, right? It's we miss out on the expanse of all of who God is and what he's done and what's possible on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And in learning to see things the way God sees things, anything's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how the Lord works with us and helps us learn to see with his eyes. So the disciples had been walking with Jesus, and because of that, seeing him every day, interacting with him, they were starting to see things from a different perspective. Mm-hmm. So I found in my life, the more that I was intentional about things like scripture, about, okay, what might Jesus be doing here? What might Jesus be thinking here? What's his perspective? Mm-hmm. My eyesight started to change. Mm-hmm. And in that, it opens up possibilities and also at times challenges to make different kinds of decisions, because I know that my life is full of the goodness of God. Mm-hmm. And I think people have a tendency to always expect the worst or always expect the negative. That phrase, don't get your hopes up. Mm-hmm. But when you have eyes to see, there's always the possibility of hope. Mm-hmm. And there's the goodness of God is on hand to step into, because he allows us to see it. Right. Huge shift in perspective, huge shift in quality of life. Mm-hmm. In my journey, the more that I have learned to think the way God thinks, which comes from seeing how God sees, mm-hmm. everything has gotten better. Everything.
Well, and you know, that seems like if you just, again, that's mind blowing, right? Our brains to wrap around that is a mind blowing thing. But Jesus modeled what's available to us. And he said, I
Yes.
only do what I see my Father do. And there's, you know, more to that verse about hearing, which obviously we'll talk about in the next video, but there is a permission that we have with the Lord to be able to know or see what he's doing. You know,
Yes.
see can be interpreted as understanding, as you know, as recognizing what it is that God is doing, so that you can partner with that. He wants us
Yes.
to align with him. So he's not withholding those possibilities. So when we say, and I've prayed this, Lord, let me see the way you see. Let me see things, let me perceive, let me understand, let me receive, let me have a filter that is through what you see, not through what my experiences, hurt, you know, wounding, challenges, or current mindsets that may be more earthly than heavenly allow me to see. You know, that limited understanding. So let me see from your perspective, God. And as the Lord has taken me on a journey in partnership with him, and how to align with him. And I don't walk in 100% alignment all the time. Okay. You know, this is not like I have reached some sort of, you know, I mean, it's a constant journey, right? But as I learn how to align with his heart, what I see is how he can express his heart to other people. And it's a way of partnering with his love and how he wants to express his love through me, into a situation, into someone's heart, which will encourage, edify, or urge them forward, not in a negative way, but in an undergirding wind beneath their wings kind of way.
Yes.
And it's a very powerful way to live with God, to live life with God, when we are able to have the eyes to see what he's seen. It's pretty cool.
Yes. Yes. It makes everything different.
Yes.
So we started this call with unpacking what is the blessing of eyes to see. And actually in those scriptures, Jesus tells us what they are.
Yeah, what the blessing is. It's amazing.
Yeah,
he
so
actually tells us that.
tells us. So I'm going to jump back up to verse 11 in Matthew 13. To you it has been granted to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. And I'm like, whoa, we get to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. And Paul taught that even Jesus coming and being a human and dying for us, that's part of the mysteries of heaven. Mm-hmm. And so we want to encourage you guys to start pursuing or asking or receiving the possibility of a different perspective. Mm-hmm. And even asking, okay, God, I want to see what you see. Mm-hmm. And give him permission to show you that.
Yeah.
Because that's all the disciples did. Yeah. The disciples said, hey, Jesus, we want to walk with you, mm-hmm. right? And they said yes to Jesus, and Jesus gave them eyes to see. Mm-hmm. So on this journey, start asking God, what do you want me to see? Yeah. What do you want me to understand or know about the mysteries of heaven? And in the Warrior Commission, which is a community that Christine and I are a part of, we talk about those things. Mm-hmm. We explore those things together. We have conversations about what we're seeing, and that makes it so much more fun, especially because sometimes God gives us unique things, and it's helpful to have other people and get to hear their perspectives as well, to stay rooted and grounded in that goodness and love of God. So check out thewarriorcommission.com. That's our website. We'd love to help you with this question and your exploration of it.
You guys have a great day.